Hello, welcome to this Joyful Living series. You might have heard the story of a drunk who lost his key in the night and went looking for it under the electric pole. When asked when last he saw the key, and of course, where he thinks he might have lost it, he said that he might have lost it somewhere in his house. Why then are you looking for it here? He was asked. Because there is no light in my house, was his reply. This man's action seems stupid, but it can tell us something about human behavior. It is not difficult to understand that people generally like those who tell them what they want to hear, even when they know that it is not true, or who simply agrees with them in everything, even when they are moving towards their ruin. It is not easy to accept that one might be wrong or needs a contrary opinion when the desire to do something is very strong. It is also not easy to have a contrary opinion to what everyone else seems to agree with, or to ask questions that differ significantly from that of the rest of the people. But that is exactly what separates genius from the rest of the people. Being a genius is not just a question of intelligence, but as well creativity, self-awareness, and the ability to probe into what others take for granted. In other words, learning to think outside the box and going forward with passion to seek to understand that which is not just a given. History has shown that people who seek to unravel what is taken for a mystery exhibit certain characteristics that enable them to go beyond the crowd mentality. Like the eagle, which flies alone, especially when it wants to soar high. They learn to focus on reality from a different perspective, give attention to what is true and genuine, irrespective of where or who harbors it, and are willing to hold contrary opinions based on deep convictions rather than on what the crowd accepts. There are a number of instances in the Bible that portray the behavior of the drunk who went searching for his lost key under the electric pole. When Jesus preached in his hometown, most of the people rejected him, not because of his teaching, but simply because of their refusal to see how the son of a carpenter can display such wealth of knowledge and authority. It was not the authenticity of his teaching that was in question, but his historical background. Take another instance. The healing of the man born blind in John chapter 9. When they began questioning the man about the healing, he told them everything as it happened. Then they said to him, "What do you say about him?" He told them that he believed that Jesus was a prophet. They disparaged him, reminding him that he was born in sin and therefore not qualified to teach them. Yet, they were the ones that asked the question. The problem is that they failed to get the answer they wanted from the man. It is like telling your friend who has a dispute with another person that he or she is the wrong party. That might signal the end to that relationship. But it takes courage to be true to what you truly believe. Again, the Pharisees failed to look at the evidence and focused on the history of the man. The true value of his words was not the issue, but the fact that he was born blind, something considered as a result of sin. Focusing on facts rather than the history of the person frees you from unnecessary blindness to the truth and reason. We have evidence of people who listen to reason rather than the position of people, and it helped them to make a headway. Naaman comes to mind. It was not until he listened to the words of the slave girl and later that of his servants that he did what the prophet required of him to get healed of his leprosy. What Jesus said to the people regarding the scribes and Pharisees in Matthew 23, verses 1 to 3, is very significant and worthy of note. He said, "The teachers of the law and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat, so you must be careful to do everything they tell you. But do not do what they do, for they do not practice what they preach." That they were not doing what they preach does not remove the authority and authenticity of their teaching. Obviously, when a person practices what he preaches, it helps the listener to do the same. But what is important for us at this point is the ability to separate things and place each one where it belongs. People have made enormous mistakes by failing to properly separate things. Some people have made enemies just because the person is an enemy to their friends, or let loose their guards simply because their friends let theirs loose, and in the process become victims. Being able to separate things helps you to stick to facts. Having a rich base of factual knowledge makes it easier to make right decisions. Understand this. Gold remains gold, irrespective of where it is found. When people fail to go deep, they easily fall prey to a lot of things. It is obviously not everything that glitters is gold. As Jesus said, "By their fruits you shall know them." Learn from the eagle. One of the characteristics of the eagle is to test before it trusts. Whatever is meant to last takes some time. So take your time, dig deep, and pray for enlightenment so as to have the right focus. Take the words of Paul in his letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, verse 8. He writes, "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things." May God keep you properly focused and stay on the right track. Thanks for watching.